Hello, everyone, and welcome. And I am so thrilled to be here today with this panel of amazing, talented, beautiful, accomplished women. And I will be introducing all of them to you, but I would be remiss if I didn't very first talk about the genius, visionary person behind what we are doing today. And that is Amina Lila with Women Around the World, Stella Women Around the World. And this series is called Hearts Talk. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We've, like I said, we've assembled some amazing women, and we're going to hear from every single one of them. But Amina, I want to first of all thank you for being so visionary, for holding this high picture of what we can accomplish if we all come together. You did that. You made the picture in your mind so vivid and so clear that the rest of us saw it. And then we can line up behind that vision. So thank you for that, because it was not easy. I am sure there were people who told you, why are you doing this? It's just a waste of, it'll never happen. Why do you even, right? You heard those things? Yes. And in spite of it, you persisted. In spite of it, you kept moving forward. And the realization of that sits right here today with all of these amazing women. So all of us say thank you for bringing us together. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now, what I would love to do, and tell me if this works for all of you, I would love to briefly introduce each one of you, just a short little paragraph about who you are so that everyone can know, whoa, I am in the presence of amazing women. And then we'll come back to each one of you. And I would like for you to address the question, this new reality that we are in, what's it all about? How are you managing it? How are you getting through it? What challenges have you faced, and what have you done to be able to keep moving forward? And I would be very happy to hear from each and every one of you. I will tell you this, and I want to kind of start with my little bit of my story about where I came from. But I am a international motivational speaker, and I travel all over the world, and I get to speak to phenomenal groups of people, and mostly groups of women. And here's what I've discovered about women. We are so quick to help each other. We don't have that competition gene. Are we competitive? Absolutely. Do we want to succeed and continually improve? Absolutely. But when it comes time to getting on the playing field with all of our compatriots, fellow women, we link arms. We link arms and we say, how can I help you? How can I support you? What do you need from me? And because we all do that, we all rise together. So I just want to encourage you all to just speak from your heart, and Britta, you will help us with that. And just tell us what's happening for you. And so I'm going to now just do a quick introduction, and forgive me, I have to read this because you're all so accomplished. I could never memorize all of your amazing accomplishments. First of all, and this won't be in the order, but yeah, this will be the order we speak. Britta, is it Simon? Britta Simon?
Yes.
Yes. She's originally from Germany, and now she's living in Cyprus. She is a high performance coach. She's been certified by the Heart Math Institute, which is world famous and does amazing work. If you haven't checked into that, you're going to want to after you hear her. And she's passionate about leveraging the intelligent power of the human heart for securing health, well-being, and personal growth. Now, that right there, I want to spend 2 days with her alone, just me and her. I want to hear everything she has to say. And I'm not sure where Belsam is, but let me just give you a brief little preview of what you're looking forward to with her. She is a former Kuwait Olympian, international fencing champion who works in the field of empowering the community through sport and the use of education, and sport as a tool for social change and gender equality. She's an innovator. She works tirelessly for community change and social inclusion. Like I said, I met her, and she is one of the most amazing women I've ever met in my life. Arshi, would you please, there you are, hi. Arshi, would you please pronounce your entire name for me so I get it right?
Arshi Ayub Muhammad Zaveri.
Arshi, may I just call you Arshi?
Perfectly okay.
Okay. She has more than 12 years experience 12 years of professional experience with royal families of Abu Dhabi and Dubai in active partnerships that necessitate substructuring of strategic initiations, economic and political management, business and financial aid, along with overall assistance for the MENA and Asian Pacific. That right there tells me she's the smartest one in the group. I don't know. I'm just like going to sit at her feet and learn from her on this whole experience. The experience is varied within special initiatives, several initiatives within real estate, infrastructure, oil and gas, energy. The list goes on and on. So I have a feeling she is really going to be able to help us in the business world take a look at things from a different perspective. Lara, where are you, please? Oh, there's Lara. Hi. She's an international speaker, mentor, and business consultant, and has spoken on the same stage with some of the world's greatest names, including Randy Zuckerberg, the former director and spokesperson for Facebook, George Ross, the Apprentice TV show judge, Hollywood A-lister John Travolta. I want every inside story on that one. American fashion designer Calvin Klein, American rapper, actor, television host Vanilla Ice, Hugh Hilton, the founding partner of A&M Capital Real Estate, and many others. In other words, she knows people. Tita, where are you? There you are. Hi, Tita. Creator and founder of the Happy Ambassador brand, which is, I love that, the Happy Ambassador brand, which is revolutionizing the way kids learn about cultural awareness and overall well-being. Born from mother's bedtime stories for phenomenal global concept. And I think that sounds amazing. Did I cover everyone? I didn't miss anyone, did I? Oh, well, you know why? That's because you were listed first. And then Amina said, no, don't put her first. So let me go back to the very first. Yes.
Hi, everyone.
There you are. I just introduced you.
Hi, Linda. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
I was running the whole day. I had a very important meeting and I just jumped from the table and said, I can't stay anymore. I have a very important webinar.
Well, I'm glad you did. We're right in the middle of introducing everyone and I just introduced you. So everyone knows who you are. It's as if you've been here the whole time.
You look fabulous. I like your haircut. You look amazing.
Thank you. I can't wait for you to meet all these amazing women. Let's go back to Dr. Kuljit Opal. Opal? Yes, yeah. And we'll just call it Dr. Kuljit. She has been awarded with the esteemed Inspirational Polymath Award. As an image scientist, a CEO, an entrepreneur, an aviator, creative director, and author, and an educationist, among many other hats that she wears. And it all boils down to this. Wow, what a powerful room full of women. And the topic is perfect because I suspect, and I'm going to bet on this, that it is this whole new world we're living in, this new reality, has not been particularly easy for anyone in this group. And I say that from my most open, vulnerable self. And I'll give you my little bit of my story. I was speaking. I was getting on planes and flying away and speaking all over the world for the last 23 years. And on March 6th, I got off a plane from having spoken somewhere, and that was the last time I ever got on a plane. Every single event that I had scheduled for the rest of the year, either canceled, moved to next year, put on hold, moved to virtual. So it was this upheaval. And I felt like a deer in the headlights. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just do what I do on camera. And that's not the way it works. You don't just do what you do on camera. You have to learn so much about technology and making things interesting and different and marketing. And you all know that. And I will tell you quite honestly that for the first couple of weeks, I literally was frozen. I just kept thinking, it's going to go away. If I just pray and hope and dream and go back to bed, it'll all go away. Also, if I eat a bowl of ice cream every single night, I'll feel better. And I did feel better. I gained about 15 pounds, but I felt better. But it was very scary for me. And I think that here's what ultimately, obviously, I have come out of that. And I buckled down and I said, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to learn? How do I need to stand out in my field doing what I do the best that I possibly can? How do I do that? And so I started learning, and I have been learning technology and cameras, and I have this huge studio now. And it's all been very, very, it's a steep learning curve. And like I said, I'm not through yet. I'll keep learning, I'll keep growing. But I believe that we learn as much from each other's fears and insecurities as we do from our successes, because we relate to other people's fears. We don't relate to their perfection. We don't relate to the fact that, oh, they've arrived and life is good. And yes, come over here, I'll tell you how to do it. We don't relate to that. We relate to someone who says, I fell, I stumbled, I couldn't figure it out, but then I did, and I'm keeping moving forward. That's who we relate to. So I welcome each and every one of you to open your heart, share everything that's happened for you. We really want to know, what have you discovered? What have you learned? What do you think would benefit everyone here? So with that said, may I jump in, and we will start with Britta. And maybe Britta, there you are. Yes, wave. The screen is getting bigger with more and more people, so wave. And by the way, if you do go to speaker view, as opposed to gallery view, which by the way, Zoom has been very confusing, because if it says gallery view, that means you're actually in speaker view. If you click on gallery view and it says speaker view, you're actually in gallery view. So it's kind of misleading. So if you want Britta to come right up into this middle screen, then by all means click on speaker view. And I would like to welcome you, Britta. Please tell us about what you are doing, your journey, what challenges you have faced. We're going to give everyone about 7 to 8 minutes, and I might lovingly try to, steer the conversation if we start going too much past that, because we want everyone to have a chance to contribute. So with that said, Britta, talk to us, tell us things.
I will, I am. Thank you so much, Linda, for this phenomenal introduction, and I'm ever so excited to be here and to meet all of the ladies, to meet the audience, and welcome from all my heart, of course. I only have 10 minutes, I'm fully aware of this, so this is quite a challenge for me, a challenge I really, really welcome, because this will probably be the world's fastest crash course in stress management, what we are going to do here now. Of course, when I first talked to Amina a few days ago, and we introduced each other, and she invited me to this wonderful event, that we said, okay, well, we have a new reality here. We have to deal with COVID-19, and it certainly is now something that all affects us. And I fully agree with that. But my second thought was, simultaneously, it is actually not directly the virus or the COVID-19 that's affecting us. It's most importantly our feelings and emotions we have to deal with in the first place, and how they affect our life, how they affect our health, how they affect us long-term and short-term, and not only us individually, also as a collective in our relationships, our interaction, human interaction, and so on. So this is certainly for me a call, because we at the HeartMath Institute, we certainly have dedicated our work to efficient management of our emotions. And we are here to give you and the audience and everyone simple tools and techniques to actually be able to exercise self-regulation and self-empowerment through our big, powerful ally, our human heart. It's especially in these times of challenges and adversities. But why is this so important? Why are our emotions so important? And the answer is very, very simple, because emotions is where we spend most of our personal energy. All the energy we have, we spend, of course, in physical movement, we spend in thinking. Of course, there is a lot of energy going. But personally, I would even dare to say that over 90% of our energy, personal energy we have available, is being spent on emotions. And this is something we always need to be aware of, because especially when it comes to negative emotions, when our emotions have a negative charge, like fear, insecurity, anxiety, frustration, and the like, and we all know this, especially in the past weeks and months, we all had to deal with emotions and feelings. We probably, we say, who needs them? And this is something I would like to address, and I would like, actually, I also would like to take a bit of the drama out of it, the charge out of it, because we are so powerful. We always have the the ability and the capacity to make a choice, and to how we feel and how we deal with situations. And our heart is very much always on our side, and our biggest ally in this daily quest. So now I would like to show you with a simple picture, with a simple example, what actually happens in our body when we are going through a state of, for example, fear. And I would like to take the opportunity to share a simple slide here. So can you all see this? Yeah, okay, excellent. Well, this little slide I prepared here, this demonstrates the interaction between our heart and our brain in a state of in a state of when we feel frustration, anxiety, worry, and fear, and the like. I would like to just to point out that our connection between our heart and our brain is the most important connection in our human body. And I always call it a super speed highway, because there's so much information being exchanged between heart and brain, while most of the information is coming from the heart and going to the brain, and not vice versa. Yeah, so now picture this: if we see the news in COVID-19, for example, there's bad news, and and it all starts with, we hear or we see, let's say, difficult news, difficult situations, and our first thought is, of course, oh my God, what am I going to do, and so on. But it doesn't stop here. The end product of each thought created in our brain is an emotion. So everything that's that affects us from our outside world is being processed in our heart. Our heart is literally where all the action is. And when our heart needs to process feelings like anxiety, frustration, insecurity, and fear, then, as you can see here, the information our heart sends towards our brain looks rather chaotic, as you can see here. And I even have a technology, I can measure this. This is, for instance, something I measured on myself in a state of anxiety. Yeah, this graph, this information exchange looks rather abrupt, chaotic, and so on. And this is also when there is a lot of cortisol, a common stress hormone, is produced. And for our brain, it means that we are sometimes not really able to think clearly. We are prone to make wrong decisions. We, in the long term, when this goes on for a long time, we also experience maybe insomnia, burnout. It has a carryover effect. And also our resilience, our personal resilience, which is some kind of a muscle we carry. This is our ability to adapt, to embrace changes and challenges, and to overcome these and to recover from them. This is impaired. Our resilience diminishes over time, and also we have a low energy, because when our body is working under frustration and fears, and cortisol is running, then we work very inefficiently. We are in an energy wasting mode. And this doesn't stop when we switch off the television. This even goes on in the background when we are just maybe taking a walk or so. We still have we are still in a state where these negative emotions and the cortisol are running in the background, and most of us, we are not aware of it. And at some point, when this has a prolonged state, then of course we really can feel the effects in form of stress, of insomnia, of burnout, anxiety, and so on. So this is the first slide I want to show you, but I wouldn't be here, of course, if we wouldn't have a perfect, a wonderful, simple solution for this problem we sometimes are carrying with us, and we don't even have a clue. We don't even have an idea that this is happening in our body. And I would like to share a next picture, because when we make a choice, when we are first of all aware of the situation, that we are losing energy, that negative emotions affect us in this kind of way, we can also take charge, we can take action and turn the situation to our favor. And this is what this slide expresses. When we replace the negative emotions of fear and the like with calm, with appreciation, with gratitude, with compassion, with kindness, when we make this conscious choice, as you can see here, the information our heart sends to our brain is much more smooth, and our body literally reacts instantly when we make this conscious choice, when we take ourselves back, and we go into a state of coherence. And don't worry, I'm going to show you in a minute how this works. We're going to do I'm a practical person, I'm German. So in a minute, we're gonna do a little exercise and see how this all works for us beautifully in a very simple exercise. But this is when our body, our whole physiology gets into a state of coherence. This is when our heart cooperates beautifully in an optimum state with the brain, with all the organs, and the nervous system, and up to the tiniest cell. Everything works together beautifully like a symphony orchestra. And this is when everything is in balance. And this is also when our body gets into an energy saving mode, energy recycling mode, and even energy adding mode. We can do this at any moment in time, literally adding energy to our system. And the positive advantages of this kind of state of being in coherence is clearer thinking. We are able to make better decisions. We are on a high energy level. We always keep composure. We are cool as cucumber at any moment in time. We find solutions. Yeah, we find inspiration, because when this highway, when there are roadblocks, we are not able to find the solutions we need. And we also build a really high level of resilience. This means we are always able to embrace changes, challenges, to embrace any situation. We are dealing with the smaller troubles, the bigger troubles. And this is what we are able to do when we have a high level of resilience. And the resilience builds up over time when we make sure that when we put our body every day regularly in a state of coherence. So this is, I'm gonna stop the sharing for the moment so I can see you all beautifully.
Britta, can I
Yes.
stop you and ask a question for Amina? I'm not sure where she is. I see a lovely little logo there. There she is.
There she is.
I just wanted to remind people, and I'm sorry I didn't just say it earlier, if you would like to ask a question as you're listening and you think, oh, I have a question about that, just feel free to jump into the chat box and put your question, and then all of us will go back and look at the chat box, and then we'll be able to answer those questions later. And Britta, as you said, that 10 minutes went very fast, and we want to do the exercise also, but I think I probably need to keep everyone aware of the time I think we could spend the whole time just listening to you. I really do. But if everyone doesn't mind, I'll be the loving voice in the background saying, okay, we're got to keep to these little time blocks. But also, Amina, and let me say this before we go on, did you want to have contact information available, like everyone's websites, in the chat box or somewhere where everyone could refer to that and connect later if we wanted to? Okay, you're on mute. You're on mute. I can't hear you. Oh, there you go.
Answer is yes. Of course, we
Okay.
have to share all the great information and contact details. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Britta, now,
Yes.
are you going to do an exercise with us?
Absolutely. It's going to be just a 3-minute exercise. It's called the quick coherence technique. Very
Okay.
fast. Okay, you can do this maybe for as long as you want, but we have now 3 minutes, but it's really fast and very efficient. And this is the fastest way to put our heart in a state of coherence. And I would just like to invite you to just shut everything out for this moment. Take this moment for yourself, recline into your heart. And I always recommend to put the feet flat on the ground. That gives us a good grounding, and that gives us really the feeling of safety. Mother Earth holds us and always cares for us and protects us. And I would like to invite you to, first of all, it's going to be 3 steps: heart focus, heart breathing, and heart feeling. And it's ever so simple. So would you kindly just place all your focus, all your attention from your busy brain into your heart. Just put all your attention into your heart. You may, of course, close your eyes. You may place your hands over the chest area where your heart is. And just keep the attention at the heart area. Wonderful. And as we keep our full attention and focus on our heart, the second step is to simply lower the pace of our breathing. To breathe in and out, we could imagine that the breath is coming directly from our heart. It's opening, closing like a flower. And just enjoy an easy breathing pace, no pressure, no resistance. Just let your breath flow in and out a bit slower and deeper than usual. And as we do so, the third step, and that's a very important step, is I would like to invite you to the best of your abilities to activate a positive regenerative feeling like gratitude, appreciation for anything or anyone, for yourselves, for your loved ones, for your pets, for care and compassion, just a beautiful regenerative feeling. And to create this in your heart, to sustain it, and just to enjoy the moment of peace, the moment of grounding, the moment of being fully home in your heart, and creating this coherent state where everything gets into balance. And we literally shower ourselves with positive emotions, and our heart sends all these beautiful messages to our whole body. And this is a moment when we are able to regenerate, to stop all the stress, to rejuvenate, and to connect with our hearts, within ourselves and within our local and global collective. Wonderful. And as I'm very appreciative of your time, I would like to invite you to open your eyes. Of course, it was a really, really fast coherence method. But the good thing is our body is literally waiting for this kind of message where he can really stop the cortisol and get into from a depleting into a renewing mode. And this is something very beautiful. We can even do these techniques are designed to be done on the go, because simply when we lower the pace of our breathing, our body gets the message that it is safe, and it has many, many other advantages and benefits for us. But I'm appreciative of the time. So I hope you enjoyed this little exercise, and I'm at your disposal for any other information at any moment in time and help you to get into a state of coherence. I would also, for everyone here and the audience, I would like to present you with a little gift. You can sign up. I will place a little link here in the chat box a bit later, and everyone can sign up, and I'll send you a free access to the HeartMath experience, which is a beautiful online course. It's still free of charge with the compliments of the HeartMath Institute. It's an absolute beautiful video program. So this is all from me to you with heart. And finally, I just would like to encourage every one of you to really, at any moment in time, find back to your heart, recline into your heart, make your heart your home. It's your heart is your biggest ally. It's your biggest source of power, of inspiration. It is always there for you, and it never lies to us. And it is something we have, and we can be so proud of, and so convenient with. There is never any reason for us to fear or to go through difficult moments without knowing that I am protected, I am powerful, I can get through this. And this is my message for today. I thank you so much for listening, and I sent you, and by the way, we all connected now globally through our hearts. So this is a beautiful thing that happens when we really activate the power of our heart. I thank you so much. I love you all.
Mute myself. There, I'm unmuted. Thank you so much, Britta. I really appreciate that. What a great exercise. Wow, I'm going to remember to do that one frequently. I would love now to move to Dr. Kuljit, and perhaps you can share with us a little bit about your journey and anything you've learned that you think we would benefit from. We would be most grateful. So if you could take, 8 to 10 minutes max, that would be awesome. And we will jump right in. Please talk to us.
Thank you so much, Linda. At the very start, I would like to actually initiate something that we do in India, because Amina and the entire team, Linda, you included, have started this beautiful webinar series of Heart Talks. And in India, it's a belief that you take the name of God, and whenever you're starting some new initiative, some new work, project, whatever be it. So I just want to say that little mantra before we start off, because I want that God's blessings stay on with this webinar series, which very lovingly have come together because of such wonderful women. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. All right, so when I saw this heading, the new reality and what does it mean, I was very excited, because I think this is something that's so pertinent to everybody. And of course, we all know COVID has created havoc in the world. I think after the Second World War, this is probably the worst time that the globe is seeing as a collective unit. And we're all fighting this novel enemy, and we're still learning so much about it as we keep progressing day on day. And sadly, of course, thousands have died, and thousands are suffering still. And if you look at companies, the economies also of the world are on shaky and probably unknown waters. We don't know where we are going. So in this sort of a scenario, it's natural probably to have a million thoughts that race through your mind in terms of what will the future hold. And I think that exactly is what came to my mind too when Corona came in. Of course, the first thing I did personally was to immediately volunteer with the government to be a COVID volunteer. So that's what I've been doing for months together, of course. And I've been trying to take care of the needy and the aged especially. And yeah, so that's been pretty much what I've been doing as such. But the thought in terms of what I believe is this new reality is something that I definitely wanted to share right now. And I have, when I look at it, broadly speaking, I think of two ways of looking at it in one way. In terms of, if you ask yourself, what does the future hold for me? Then two clear thoughts come in. One, do you think you'll be so fragile that you will be struggling even in regular winds? Or do you think you would create your own sunshine, even in the severest of storms? I would typically rephrase that and say that, do you think that you would be a victim or would you be a victor at the end of the day? You know, I think that's largely speaking the two categories that most people would be wondering. My perception of reality, or this new reality that I can create for myself, would definitely be if I'm part of the latter, which means that I'm the victor. And I think no marks for guessing on this one. I think most women, the fact that we're so innately strong from within, we're emotionally very stable people. So I would typically believe that most of us would want to go past with the latter as what we want to adopt, or what our perception is in terms of the new reality for us. Having said that, I believe that when we're talking of a new reality and something that we ourselves are creating, we need to look through a lens. And that lens clearly in today's times defines something that revolves around emerging victorious, for sure, as I said. But apart from that, it's a time to reinvent and reboot yourself in conjunction with the way the environment is around you. And more than ever, I think the need to accept change has become imperative. I think we have to be very gracious about accepting the fact that the world is changing, things around us are changing, and we have to be part of that change in a very, shall I say, balanced and harmonious manner. So if we are adjusting to the normal, we have to understand that we have to relook at ourselves and reinvent and reboot. In the midst of all of that, I think if we have to be victorious, we have to stand up tall, become soldiers of sorts internally and emotionally. Of course, physically, that goes without saying, but we have to turn like soldiers, or shall I say warriors of sorts, where we can build systems for ourselves in the present, but for the future, because we are investing in ourselves for the future. And that's exactly my own personal take also, because regardless of me having interacted with so many people who are suffering from COVID, or for that matter, the needy or the aged, like I said, because I've been running errands up and down, taking them places here and there, wherever they wanted to go, or probably not letting them go, and me doing all the chores for them, etc., etc. So I know that somewhere down the line, the bottom line is we will emerge victorious, because I'm looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not looking at what we're going through right now, because it makes it easier for me to resolve when I look at the light far away. Even if it's far away, that's okay. But I'm there, and I'm basically personally trying to always, talk that language, because it brings about a little more, shall I say, strength and a little more positivity within people that I connect with. So I think this is also the time to amaze ourselves with our inner strength as women and the indomitable outer power we have. What lies behind us or what lies before us is actually much tinier than what lies within us. And I think that is what we have to focus on. The strength that we will get from whatever we, kind of exude. And it's not going to come from just winning, because we know that no struggle is complete till the time you actually face the challenges, you go past hardships, and then you also decide not to surrender. That for me is strength. So that's exactly, I think, what the world is doing at this point in time. I, for one, am definitely doing. I lost an uncle of mine who's in London recently, thanks to COVID. And that just made my resilience go even stronger, because I don't want anyone else to go past the same story, because it hurts. At the end of the day, we all also understand that adversity will make you discover this inner strength that I'm talking of, but it also brings about creativity. And that's good, because we are now, our brains are moving to try and devise newer ways to be able to find solutions, to be able to define the new reality. So all of this means a lot to me in one way, because I know that I'm in that zone at this point in time to define my new reality. In a way, I would say I'm already looking through the lens. I've already started moving further. So in terms of adoption, to be a true warrior or a true soldier, you need to build your ammunition, and you need to acquire and develop certain skills and certain attributes. So for one, I think whether it's your cognitive skills or your affective skills, regardless, you need to have things like I mentioned, acceptance being one, of course, and gratitude. we should be very grateful for what we have in terms of, we're okay. We're talking to each other. There are people suffering out there. And probably most of our families are doing well. So gratitude for sure. But I think the larger perspective here would be having faith in yourself. Pretty much like the bird that sits on the branch and has faith in her wings and not the branch. She's not bothered if the branch breaks because she has so much of faith in herself. So I think faith will take us a long way in this journey in defining our new reality. And of course, as Rita mentioned about resilience, I think I echo the same thought. So we're talking of patience and resilience. And of course, keeping a clear focus, a strong sense of determination that takes us forward in our, journey, whatever we define our journey to be. Having said that, there also needs to be a balance, because today the world needs empathy, and we as women are givers naturally. So I think it's also all about, looking at things in a new light in terms of actually reaching out. Contribution probably comes in as a keyword here, building a sort of a harmony within the environment and us, and trying to just do whatever we can, keeping in mind our value system that stays intact within us and builds the base of what and how we function. So I think all in all, what I want to say basically is, I think it's time to do a sort of an inner self-analytics of sorts and examine where you stand. So if some of these things that I've just mentioned, if let's say you're at 10 units of the same, I would pretty much urge you to make it 1,000 units of all of these, because this is the time to kind of reinvent yourself. So you want to kind of, if there are things that are not as strong in your sense of attributes for yourself, then probably this is a good time to kind of relook and build your strengths further from there, because personal mastery is going to be the key ahead for yourself, pretty much. That's what I believe. And you're not talking about only adding value to yourself, but you're also looking at adding value to others. You have to eventually think of yourself as part of that big, large global family. And I think many of us are already doing it, but I'm just talking about my perception, because I've always believed that I'm just one small little person in the entire global family. And I think that makes me very happy, because it just makes me feel I'm such a big family, and I just feel awesome about it. Having done that, it's great to kind of build yourself, like I said, but I also want to highlight for people who believe that, they don't have the strength, or probably they don't feel brave enough. One must just understand that I think bravery is not about absence of fear. We're not talking about that. It's just about being able to have that strength to constantly keep moving forward despite the fear. I think that is bravery. So if you're doing that, I think you're very brave to be able to, kind of day in and day out, work towards building yourself and people around you. I think that will define a new reality, which will help global society in a large manner. So I think with the strength of character and, expansion of the size of the heart that we all have, it's time to probably create a very powerful affirmation for ourselves that becomes like a kind of a brain tattoo, if I may say. If I had to say it for myself, I would say probably I'm a blessed force of God, and I'm a powerhouse of strength, resilience, love, support, care, commitment, integrity, and excellence. I mean, you can carve out your own affirmation that you want to, but I think these affirmations help, because when you say them day in and day out, you actually realize they start exuding a lot of power from within. And I think it's very important to stay positive at this point in time. And you should use all the attributes you have, all the cognitive skills you have, every single thing, and your heart, of course, to define your future, because this is what you're going to create for yourself. That's what my perception is, that I'm going to create my future through this whole dimension and create my new reality. So in fact, I want to wish everybody all the best for their journeys, because I think this is the journey of reinventing and rebooting yourself and creating this fabulous new reality for yourself and the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the power of an affirmation cannot be understated. I think that's what can take us through some of the darkest times. We like to think, but I don't feel that way. But I think if you assert it boldly and passionately, that it's almost as if your subconscious goes, oh, okay, she seems to think we've got this, so let's get this body up and start moving. So I love the power of an affirmation. Okay, Balsam, I want to jump to you, and I would like to very quickly, before everybody goes, because Dr. Kuljit, I know you have to go, and you may know this technique, but it's one that I wanted to share that helps me every time I kind of find myself listening to those voices inside that say, this is overwhelming. You can't handle this. This is way more than you bargained for. Run for your life. I hear those voices every once in a while. And I learned a tool long time ago, and I've started practicing it again very consciously. I was a social worker at one point, and I worked with clients who were struggling in their life. And I remember teaching them this tool. And then I thought many years later, why don't I use that tool? And it's brilliant. Some of you may know it. It's the thought stopping technique. Literally, when you hear the voices in your head, and we've got, what, 80 to 90% of all of our thoughts are negative, you know, oh, I can't do this. This is too much. I'm too tired. I'm exhausted. No, you know, we hear those thoughts. You notice that you're doing it, and you literally tell yourself stop. And you try to visualize a stop sign in your brain. And you say stop. And then you replace the thought that you don't want with one you do want, with one of those from your affirmation. So it might go like this. Oh, this is too much. I can't handle it. Stop. I've got this. I'll be fine. Now, I would love to say that's all it'll take, that you just do it one time and the bad thoughts run away, but that's not the case. The voice keeps coming back because it's had years and years of pummeling you. So you just keep doing it. So the conversation might go like this. This is overwhelming. I just can't. Stop. I've got this. I can do it. I'll just put one foot in front of the other. Oh yeah, but you give up. You know how you are. You just give up so fast. Stop. I will just put one foot in front of the other. I will do one little tiny step at a time, and I'll be able, oh, you're a procrastinator. You know you'll never do. Stop. I've got this. So the conversation may go like that for a while, but you will prevail. Pretty soon, literally, the voice stops because you have told it to stop. You may have to continually reinforce this as you go on, but I think it's one of the most brilliant tools to help us when we find ourselves in that place where either we or other people are telling us that we can't do something, or we're not good enough, or we're not smart enough, or educated enough, or whatever enough, that we just keep coming back to stop. I have a power within me that is as big as the universe, and it moves through me, and it guides me, and it informs me, and I can create beauty out of that. Just keep saying stop, keep moving forward. Does that make sense? Okay. I hope my microphone was on while I was talking. Okay.
You're amazing, Linda. You're amazing. All the ladies, I'm really proud to be today here with all of you.
Oh, you are just so stunning. I'm thrilled. So Balsam, I know you a little bit. I fell desperately in love with you when I met you in Kuwait. No one has ever been so incredibly kind and generous in my life as you were to me, this stranger in a strange land. And you knocked me out with what you're doing and what you have accomplished, and your commitment and your passion to helping, especially young women. But please tell us more. What has this new reality been like for you? Maybe what have you struggled with, and what have you learned through it all that might help all of us?
Okay, so it's a great honor for me to be here today with this amazing ladies from all over the world. And I would love to thank you, Linda, and thank Amina also for doing this amazing job and gathering all these women for good, especially to create a platform for women experiences and how they face the COVID-19, the situation that we've been all the last few months, and how we look forward to the future. So I am an athlete, and I've been my whole life being in sport. My mom is a strong woman, and my dad also had always been empowering us and trying to create from us a real strong individuals. The thing that I want to tell you now, it will takes me to the topic that I want to discuss, which is the gender equality, and how we prove in this crisis that the world had faced that women had a very important role they did in this crisis, and how did they manage all this things that happen every day. So when I was, we are 4 girls and 1 boy. The boy is the youngest. So my whole life I've been as as a girl doing all the boys is doing in the normal day. I cycle, I hike, we travel, we do surfing, we do everything. The shock was when I was around 14 years old, and I went to the club with my sister to start my new career in fencing. And the surprise was I had recognized that there was a discrimination between girls team and boys team, because the privilege is only because they are a boys team. So here I had found it unconsciously that there is a problem in this society where boys had the privilege because they are boys. I learned the word gender equality in Ashoka Foundation training in 2009. I didn't know that there's something called gender equality. I didn't know that there is something called women empowerment or gender or entrepreneurship. And I remember in the interview that they had made after 10 days of training, my sister asked me, do you remember the words? And I said, yeah, I remember them. And she said, entrepreneur, gender equality, and women empowerment. And before I went inside the interview, she said, tell me the word. And I said, gingerpreneur. so yeah, so this is a part of my of the things that had built my character, and I had married to a great man who really supports me, who really believes in me. He saw my dad, how he deals with me and my brother. It is not easy in my in the place that I came from, the region that I came from. Women cannot be surrounded with men all the time, especially in the working field. It's not appropriate way for women. You know the culture and the traditions, but in my situation as an athlete, I had faced this in a strong way because I had men who empowers me and who trusted me and who believe in me. So I didn't give a huge attention to this. What I'm saying now is what all these experiences that I had in my life made from me a strong woman. And I've been always challenged by different things in my life. The most painful thing that I had faced is school. And I was a D student for my whole life. My sisters were A students. Only me, I'm the third girl in the family, and I was a D student. So until I graduated from the high school, I had the lowest grades. That gave me the opportunity to join the physical education college after 1.5 years of applying. And I was a champion, but they didn't accept me because I had a low grade. So after I was accepted in the college, I graduated to get my bachelor after 10 years. I was banded for 6 times. And it is not because I wasn't smart. Smart had nothing to do with this, because I was different. And I remember when I was in a course of storytelling, and I said, D is the 4th letter in the English alphabet. D is the lowest grade that a student can take. D is, for me, is being not a D student, but different, being different. So I know that I'm a different person, and that's what makes me strong. So every time I'm challenged in my life, I always think about the challenges that I have made. Sometimes I become in a very hard situation because of a certain thing or a certain problem that I'm dealing with in the sport field or other field. I always think, what is the most horrible, hard thing that I have faced in my life and I didn't get over it? And I can't say anything. There is nothing. I always get over it because I always think in a different way. After the crisis happened of Corona, of COVID-19, people were panicking and were so extremely worried about what they are going to do, how they are going to deal with their families, how can they stay at home for 24 hours, how can they be face to face with their partners, with their kids. It is not easy, but women who are mentally strong and physically strong had get over this, and I am one of them. I didn't complain about what is going on. I didn't complain about we are locked down. I didn't complain about, well, I'm with my family the whole time. It wasn't boring for me. I was happy. And when I volunteered in the mental health service that was launched in Kuwait for the last in April, they launched it for people who have issues or have anxiety or worried about the situation. They can join the program and they will provide them with the specialist. So I was one of them. Most of the cases that I'm taking is for women. Most of those women are young women. And I'm talking about the age average between 18 and 26. Most of the girls get their worriness from their parents, especially their mothers. Mothers may be so tough on them, and they don't really try to understand why this anxiety is happening or why they are worried. So yesterday I wrote in Twitter, I didn't mention the story, but I know one of the girls that I'm dealing with is suffering from obesity, and she had gained 20 kilo in this from December. So her mother is pushing her so hard and doing jokes on her and comparing her with her sisters because she is overweight. And this makes her so sad. This makes her really feeling insecure. She don't have confidence in herself. She feels that everyone is hating her, and you know the drama on this part. So I think three main things I focused on this period of time and how I look at the future. Three main things: family relationship, the mental health, and education. Education now became online. You cannot evaluate a person only with his grade. We cannot do this anymore. We cannot say this. We have to stop this, even with our children. We cannot say that, oh, my son is a student, I'm so proud of him. So is he socially smart? Is he have social intelligence? Is he talented? Does he have something that he loves to do? Does he like to discover things? What he had made in different part of his life other than school? We don't have this conversation in our region, I'm talking. So I think the new generation now have to think in this and have to rebuild the image of how we have to empower women. We don't have to compete with men. This is not our message. We have to be equal with them and we have to cooperate with them. And thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. I wrote in the chat box, first of all, D is for different. I'm loving that because haven't we all at some point felt like, if nothing else, felt like we were different. We just didn't, for some reason, we weren't like everyone else. Now, that's a great thing we've come to find out. So I love D is for different. Also, I love what you said about finding strength when you, simply by looking back at the things you have overcome. If you're in a moment and it's difficult and you think, oh no, I don't know if I can handle this. If you stopped and went, wait a minute, hold on a second. What all have I accomplished in my life? What really tough obstacles have I overcome? what things have I created when people said it couldn't be created? Look at that. There's your fuel, right? Then you go, wait a minute. If I could do that, I can do this. Thank you, Balsam. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Oh my gosh. I never want this to end. Archie, where are you? Let's please hear from you now. I would love to hear what you have to say about this topic.
Hello, Linda. How are you? Hope you're doing well. And first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Amina. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see her, but I know she's there. And thank you so much, Amina, for putting all this together. It's really, really an incredible panel, and of course, so well moderated by Linda. It doesn't feel like I'm seeing you and knowing you for the first time. Thank you so much for creating that warmth and affection for all of us. It's been really, really welcoming. Thank you very much again. I think when we mention about the new reality, I think collectively what we all know is that life is ambiguous and we can't ever evade the truth. At this exponential speed with which things are changing in this globally networked world, the fact that when we find all the answers, the questions change. So you have to learn, unlearn, and relearn all the time, technically and socially. Our group holding, the Trust with Trade Group, we are established in Abu Dhabi as a fully integrated manufacturing, international services trading company in oil and gas, chemicals, waste management, and so on, quintessential traditional sectors. So as an organization, we've always been very cognitive of failure, crisis, and the pandemic has only brought forth a lot of challenges because, again, these are tangible work areas and not much of digitization as such yet. So of course that has brought forth a lot of challenges for us in our workspace. So we've really had to ensure inclusion and adapt to the new way of working and protect the well-being of everyone involved in our space. We have to be able to keep them motivated and adapt a new way of working and delivering value at the same time. So that has been extremely important and challenging at the same time. We've been able to, one of the most important and I think one of the greatest challenges we've had is an onboarding process and managing the culture of the organization collectively, because as we witness these new trends that have been coming in terms of video-based meetings that are sort of straining us all the more than just facilitating communication, more work from home, flexible work schedules. We're sort of trying to be more flexible in terms of how spending time with family at home, fewer commutes, and reduction in absenteeism, potential reduction in office costs, the fact that we are automating most of our tasks. So the more fluid scope of work through cross-functional project marketplace, because we are needing the right time to match the right talent with the work. So we're experiencing more purpose-driven work as well due to the pre-crisis trend that got amplified during the crisis. So employees wanting to contribute to the society and create more meaningful work. So hence we are experiencing some really interesting trends. And as people, we have to cultivate a culture to learn. As His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, states, the knowledge that you have in this generation and the technology you have that you are learning is the best in the world. So we have to constantly cultivate a culture to learn. Organizations that are not continuously learning and revising will lose their competitive edge and ultimately won't survive. So continuously learning, encouraging others in your company to do the same is extremely vital. We encourage our employees to learn new things and fail fast. We at our organization, we're aware that it's fine to fail and learn as long as the fraction and the learning of the across the organization happens and no one seems to make the same blunder again. This is particularly conspicuous around the organization that has been so much longer and has been risk averse. So even though technology is changing at a rapid pace right now, this is the slowest it will ever be. And as executives, we must stay ahead of technology and continuously innovate, take measured risks, and be ready to evolve at any moment. We can't really lead with our heads down, but most look around and be cognizant of everything around us by speaking to people, venturing and looking into everything happening on the rims. Employees also want to work for enterprises that provide resources to learn, and organizations need to do that to concoct a culture to learn that will not, and be able to engage and retain that talent for being able to create a culture that is more futuristic and the type of perennial learning that is essential and should be encouraged. One other thing that I think the new reality brings forward to all of us collectively is the fact that we have to adapt to technology. New technology is coming super quick, and it seems like once we finally champion something, it's archaic, and there's another new solution up there for all of us to absorb. We need to be more attentive to technology and adapt their perspective to comprehend the new developments that are more critical and everything else that is in course. So technology is not just for IT specialists or anybody in that space. We all have to learn, we all have to evolve with new staging and technologies to be programmed in our workspaces. At our organization, we've repositioned to focus on digitization and route considerable investment in across certain platforms that will be internet-based, creation of a multi-utility exchange and a program very comprehensive to promote the energy space. And so we've been venturing into things that sort of make sure that we are sustainable in the times to come. We have to move to technology and digitization. That one other thing that we as a new reality means is adapting and learning more about blockchain and different other fintechs that are upcoming, because it's extremely important for us to go on adapting with the times. I think collectively today we can all state that the crisis can bring people together and facilitate a collective spirit of endurance, but it can also push people apart, and with individuals distrusting one another and predominantly looking after themselves. So we have to prioritize, and we do prioritize the well-being of our people and the ones that are in communities with psychological motivation. We tend to accentuate technology way too much. However, a company can function without technology, but it can't without people. So the challenges of humanizing encompasses harmonizing technology and humans and safeguarding your people that are prepared to thrive in the times to come. So we shouldn't just remember that businesses still fundamentally revolve around and are in existence because of people. So with automation and concentration of potency, many enterprises end up fixating themselves more on outcomes instead of people. So we need to humanize our workspaces. We need to, as a new reality is moving forward, we need to reskill and constantly upskill our employees and ourselves to be able to move with the times. So the good news is that not all is lost. The future of work is something that we shape, create, design, and we build. It's not something that happens to us. This means there is tremendous opportunity for everybody around the world to step up and start thinking more clearly about what it will take to lead in a rapidly changing world, and that world that we are all a part of. We are experiencing this transformation before our eyes in the face of COVID-19, racial, social injustices that are and already existing trends of globalization and technology that are making us realize that what worked in the past when it comes to any sort of function may not work in the future or in the present. So all we can control is the way we feel and think and act in relation to life as it appears in the present. How about that we begin to think about being human, trusting, including, educating, respecting differences, fighting inequalities, and having a solidary attitudes is normal for everybody across from all different walks of life. Because one thing is certain, that people with a future are those who know how to think, who know how to communicate, act in a conscious, inclusive, and innovative way. Those that promote diversity in their lives, because diversity fosters innovation, and innovation generates sustainability. So the world requires humanity, I think, not just in words, but in real actions. Since the pandemic in March, the United Arab Emirates has sent more than 716 tons of medical supplies to 63 nations, big or small, ally or rival like. No other nation has done this in this capacity. So that is something that the new reality is learning, the new reality is making us learn collectively, is to remember that you have to stay human, and that is how humanity keeps walking. Things may be returning to normal, but I think they will never return to normal again. The future is unevenly distributed, and at the same time, this crisis is also strangely futureless. We're at the quantum age where everything can be one thing and another. So we're socially distant, but at the same time, we're all in this together. It is in our hands to protect ourselves and the well-being of everybody around us in our community. So we are zooming into a new reality, and the new reality is hybrid, super flexible, non-binary, and fluid. It is only together that we can succeed, and it is only together that we will. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. There's a very global look. It's a very expansive look at what's going on right now. Thank you for that. Laura, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay, there you are. Of course, please jump in, share what's going on in your world right now. What do you see? What are the challenges and what are solutions you're coming up with?
I've really enjoyed listening to all of you ladies who've shared so far, and I think you've all touched on topics that are so relevant to all of us, and especially the listeners as well. The new reality has been a shakeup for all of us, whether as individuals, whether as business owners or businesses in general, or even nations. And I think for me, what I did from the start was focus my mind on the fact that as human beings, throughout history, we've had so many challenges, whether it's been a pandemic, whether it's been something to do with the economy, whether it's been personal struggles in our lives. What's consistent is the fact that we're all able to adapt, to change, and come out on the other side as stronger, wiser, and more capable. So I focused my mind and just myself on the fact that, you know what, all of this will pass. Whether it's a matter of months, a matter of years, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So there's no reason for more panic than that other people are already creating. Because as individuals, we can always look after the way we react and how we feel. We cannot change others, but it all starts from ourselves. So I focused on what I can do in my life and my business. And some of the adjustments weren't easy. Just as Linda said earlier, my life changed in the sense that my lifestyle is always very active and I travel a lot. So for me, being stuck in one space was a big change, and I had to deal with that. And the first couple of weeks were not easy, especially because I was very conscious about the fact that I don't want to put anyone else at risk. So I stayed home most of the time and trying to make the most of the small space, not traveling and not seeing family and friends. So one of the things that I adapted was exercising from home, which I've always kind of been a bit resentful to, because I love the idea of going into a different space because it helps our mind and our bodies feel different and we focus in a different way. But that was something that I needed to adapt, and I'm so glad I did, because it kept me sane and it kept me focused, and I integrated it to my schedule that I now continue with. And something that I found was that I stick to 20 minutes to half an hour straight on in the morning. If I get it done, then I don't have to worry about it. Because if you don't do that in the morning, quite often you get so busy that it's the evening time, and then you're already hungry and maybe you're tired. So you always find more excuses. So, and I continue with that. And I think it's this small changes in our activities and daily lives. And I think a lot of us had to come up with a new routine, because it's easy being at home and not get up early and not do the things that we would normally do and push things. Oh, I can do it tomorrow or the day after, or let me do the dishes, or let me do the washing up, or whatever else. But you need to make time for your priorities. So a lot of the things were adjustments. At the same time, when we talk about just business in general, whether as an employer or as an employee, it was a big change, because technology, a lot of companies had not adapted to. So they needed to, and the businesses who didn't adapt technology before are now trying to catch up. And the ones who had adapted the technology previously are the ones that currently are doing quite well or thriving even, because they were ahead of the game. And those are things that we can all adapt in our daily lives as well. So me being based in London, but originally from Estonia, I made a point of calling my family, and that's thanks to technology. So we can also be so grateful for having technology to be able to stay in touch, whether it's a family and friends, whether it's business colleagues, new connections. So I made a point of doing that. And I also had a family member back in Estonia who had the virus and very quickly recovered, but I was calling them on a daily basis. And I'm so grateful that these days technology gives us that opportunity. And as I mentioned, change is something that we all need to adapt to. And in a way, the world and ourselves, we can look at things differently, because sometimes we get so used to doing things in a certain way, and then we forget that maybe there's a better way. Maybe we can do it differently. Maybe we can improve. And it's been a time of reflection, and something that Brita mentioned as well, awareness. And awareness about what we do and how we react, and awareness about just becoming better and being more thoughtful about others at the same time. And a big part of our new reality has been not controlling, but being conscious about the way we feel. Because our thoughts quite often become our beliefs and our feelings, which then become our actions. If you don't feel great, you're less likely to do something that's going to make you feel better. And something else that Linda touched on was about stopping yourself when you hear that negative talk. And as an example, the other day, I had a morning when I woke up and I just instantly knew, like, I'm not feeling myself. Just my energy wasn't there. I wasn't as positive as I normally am. And I had to remind myself, okay, I'm not feeling great. And often it feels like a big step from feeling pretty much awful or not great to feeling great again. So how do you gap that bridge? And it's that little thought, what can I think or say or do that's going to make me feel a tiny bit better? And once you feel a tiny bit better, you're already getting closer to feeling great. And then you're like, okay, what can I do now to feel a tiny bit even more better? And within half an hour or an hour, I felt my true self again. So don't try to always go the mile, maybe take a few steps, and the next steps will be easier. So it's those little struggles that help us actually evolve and feel better. And very much I paid attention during this new reality to the way I was feeling and what I was thinking, because that's going to make a difference in your every single day. And I still focus on that quite a bit. And I really encourage you to creating something new, something positive. It's been a really good time for people to also look at free courses. There's so many things like this webinar online for you to have access to people, new information, ways to upskill your life and your approach. So it's been a really great time. And appreciation. Be really appreciative what you have, because that's going to help you move forwards, and it's going to attract more people and opportunities into your life, especially the new reality. It's hard to be positive, but unless you can appreciate what's in your life, you're never going to be happy anyways. So it starts with those little steps and ideas, and do what you can. If there's been something that you've not taken time for, it's been the perfect time. And I've encouraged a lot of people that I've spoken to, whether they're a business owner or an individual, I've encouraged them to look at things that they haven't had time for. Or decluttering, whether it's their apartment, their house, or even their mind. Declutter. There are individuals who I know have struggled with their business and have closed down, but they've now used it as an opportunity to focus on, is this actually even a profession that I want to continue pursuing? Or is there something else that I'm really passionate about? And they've used this as an opportunity to focus on the new and start building towards that. So, and those are things that I've done in my life, and I really encourage you to look at things differently and use this as an opportunity to move forwards. And I know we all try our best, and togetherness is something else that I know me and Amina have spoken about a lot, and supporting each other, especially as women, and Linda also mentioned. So what I'd like to just leave off with as us being here and just in our daily lives, just supporting each other. There's a beautiful African proverb that I've always just loved referencing to. And it goes something like this, that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So thank you again, Amina, for bringing us together to be able to share and just create new change and new reality.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's very profound. And I really appreciate your sharing your struggles with us, because again, I think that's what we relate to so strongly is I want to feel like I'm not the bad kind of D, Belsum, not D weird, but just D different in a good way. And you're sharing your struggles with us. I particularly like the thing about waking up in the morning and feeling like, oh, I don't have it. It's not there. And how do you get it? So just a little bit at a time. I love that. One little thing that makes you feel a little bit better, and then you build on that. Thank you so much. Where's Tita?
Here is Tita.
Okay. I don't have my, oh, there you are. I don't have my screen.
Yeah, okay, here I am. Thank you so much. I'm loving to hear all the stories from the other Stella women, and thank you so much, dear Amina, for arranging all this to happen. And I love to be part of this, and I'm so grateful. And so first of all, I would like to tell shortly about the Happy Ambassador concept, which is providing multisensory learning. And our animated program is offering fairy tale adventures, the classics, traditional sports with the fantasy world, stories which are taking you to visit different countries, to learn their culture, to learn their sport activities. We are peace builders, bringing cultural awareness and physical well-being as edutaining solution for early education. And this is our way to bring the world to the children through esports, e-learning, which is really relevant nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And why cultural awareness and overall well-being? The Happy Ambassador character was born due to cultural conflicts in my own life with traumatic experiences. My way was to stay positive and to create happy bubble around my child and myself. I see it highly important that we teach to the children to respect the differences, to have solidarity. Also for the good self-confidence, it's important to know your roots, to be equipped with good cultural identity, to apply pedagogical love to the children, to love them the way they are, and to help them to find their own self in this world. Essential also for our identity is social skills, how we interact with other people. Teaching social skills are essential to be genuine, honest, but also to be equipped with consideration. That's about my mission, to impact in early education and in the long term to create more peace and happiness, less bullying, less racism, less conflicts for the betterment of humanity. And about the new reality, what it means for me. I think global pandemic, it's testing the mental state of the world, resilience of the human beings. I'm talking now from the perspective of a mother and children aspects. As we know, pandemic have had wide and serious consequences. How we show our emotions to our children has a big effect for the future. Do we create hope or fear by our own actions? And children are the best to sense it. They are masters of using many senses. In any case, pandemic has affected to the children's minds. But does it help if we worry excessively? From my point of view, no, it doesn't. It makes us mentally sick. Then we become also physically ill. No matter if there is even fear of death or bad financial situation, we should maintain the hopes up to stay optimistic. We need to program our mindset. Fear and unknown future is easier to cope with when we live in the present. We do our best for ourselves and for our family. We help those who are in need. It can mean really simple things, to have peaceful and loving atmosphere and food to eat. It's really back to basics. I think it's up to ourselves and our energy, how much we can take the pressure. Are we going forward with the big or small steps? Some days we can jump like a lion forward, and some days just to take the minimal steps. As happy ambassador character, and concept was born due to traumatic experience of my life, I could refer that time as a pandemic of my life. I think during difficult times, it's highly important to take care of our mental and physical health, as they are connected. No matter what kind of circumstances are around you, we should concentrate to live in the moment. Think what you can do now for the betterment of yourself and for your children. And a safe and understanding atmosphere are important at home. As it's said, children are mirrors from the parents. It's really important for adults to maintain their calmness and not overreact and transfer the panic to the children. And as media is under children's reach, it causes a lot of questions. I can't highlight enough the parents' responsibility to maintain calm and loving atmosphere at home, where open discussion should be number one. As I know from the experience, the truth is not hurting the child. When a child is asking questions, we need to reply honestly, no matter if we think it's not good for the child. When child wants more information from the difficult topic, they will ask, they will inquire. In this way, it's a child-oriented way. Also, as parents, we give example to the children by our actions, and we need to keep the hopes up for the better future. We are the ones who can provide stable life at home, even during pandemic and afterwards. But how we can do that? By finding our own balance. And how we can do that? So by using the tools what we have, I believe. By choosing to be happy. By doing the things what makes you happy. And of course, it's not a rocket science. It's simply daily actions, and to maintain your inner child, to find the happiness inside yourself can be full day job, I know, but when you learn your own tools, it's easy like brushing your teeth. You learn what makes you happy. Exercises, reading, crafts, playing, baking, possibilities at home are actually endless. At home, we also need to think out of the box. Things are back to the basics. And when we are not able to go to regular hobbies or schools or working places, if you want to do something, just use your creativity. As creativity is like a sunlight for human beings. If we think, example, painting, you don't need to have all the equipments. You can use your creativity. You can paint with your fingers, with the hair comb. Just use your imagination. And if you feel like dancing, take a pillow to your hands, put the music on, use your carpet pictures example to create your steps and movements. And this same out of the box thinking goes with everything, I believe. You can maintain your physical and mental health at home. And when you learn what works for you, what are your own tools, I'm not able to say what you like, or you can say what I should do. I need to know it by myself and take the actions. As without our own desires, without our own voice, we are lost. We need to have motivation, to have positive attitude, to believe in ourselves. And when you use these tools, you became warrior of your own. Your mental and physical health is in balance. Also, your self-confidence has risen. And when there is less people to be negative or critical towards you, you are brave to be yourself. When you achieve this stage, your mind is not affected anymore, even by the negative people or criticism. So work with yourself and you will find the happiness. And like it said, health is our wealth. This is so true. That's the biggest wealth on earth for human beings. Without health, what we can do? I could say mental health is even more important than physical. To believe for the better future. And rule number 1, giving up is not an option. And actually now, this time when the world stopped, I hope every individual stop to think, what is my passion? What I want to do in this life? And to pursue those things. There is always positive aspects in every situation, even in a painful situation. We learn. We are lifetime learners. I have worked from home for years, and the respect for the home office people are rising. People who work from home are new normal. And that suits me well, of course. I love to be in my own comfort zone, as I'm even now, and having international webinar. So working from home office is not stopping you. Instead, it's giving limitless opportunities if you are open-minded. And I recommend it for all the women around the world. And thank you so much that I could share my thoughts.
Thank you so much. Oh my word. I just feel like I had a master class. You know, we have so much to teach each other. And Amina, before I wrap everything up, is there anything that you have that you would like to share with the group before we wrap everything up?
First of all, I want to thank all of you because you are really the stars, because Stella means star. You are the Stella women around the world, and you really, all your talks were so inspiring. And this is what we need. We need to help each other, being there for each other, with our whatever we can do for each other. And this happened today. I want to just thank you all from my heart, with my heart to your hearts. And this is the heart. So thank you so much, my lovely, lovely ladies. Thank you so much.